This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone, welcome to Isha Training Solutions Day 1 session. So in our demo 2 session, we had a little understanding about initial topics. Now we are going to see the two deployment models that are available in App Dynamics. Okay, one is your on-premises version and the other one is your the SaaS version. Uh, and that day also I gave little understanding about the on-premises and then your SaaS model because based on the customer requirement, okay, say whether I'm a banking customer or insurance customer or I'm basically from retail based customer. So based on that need, the deployment model requirement also will be there because say like I'm a retail based customer. So retail based customer will always have logs storage, data handling, traffic, everything will be very high, right? So in that case I cannot handle everything through on premises model because if it is on premises model I need to manage everything, right? I need to manage the infrastructure, I need to manage the archival procedure, data backup procedure. I need to have certain people available to manage all these things. So what I can do as a retail based customer, what I can do is that like I can uh, uh, get this SaaS model, software as a service model, so that the vendor will take care of everything. The vendor will take care of storage, data backup, data archival, maintenance. Everything will be done by the vendor itself. I'm only going to use the service. I'm going to use only the service. Okay, that's a benefit that I'm going to get it. I'm not going to totally dependent on the remaining activities. But if I am a banking customer or insurance customer, I always think about data security, data backup, data security, data breach, sensitive data. Like that, I will think. Okay, if I am a banking customer or insurance customer, that time what will I think? My data should not go out of my firewall. It should not go to the internet at all. Like that only I will think about it, right? So in that case, this on-premises model of software is very important because they only provide license. Remaining all thing will be handled by us. We are going to handle everything, every bit of things that we are going to handle. Only the license will be provided by the vendor. Okay, give me 2 minutes, guys. I'll be back. Just a minute. Yeah, I'm back. So, so that is a major thought process behind, like, people are selecting these on-premises version or a SaaS model, okay, based on the need. Say, like, retail-based customers always thinks about this data storage related things, and then based on that they'll take a decision making. Similarly, this banking customers also, banking and insurance customers also, they will think about their uh, sensitivity, data breach, all those things they will think about, and based on that they'll take a decision making. Okay, so but don't think like, is it a hard and thumb rule, like all the banking customer will check on premises, or all retail based customers will take SaaS model, or what? No, not like that. Preference is like that. In my experience, the preference is like that. That is the reason I'm sharing that info. I saw there are instances, even the banking customers and insurance customers also prefer to take SaaS model, provided that they have that NDA, non-disclosure agreement signed, like all the data would be maintained privately and it will not be exposed over the internet, like that. There are conditions, based on that they do the licensing agreement. Okay, so basically, with respect to your architecture, okay, say like this, right now what I'm showing you is a on-premises, sorry, SaaS architecture. Okay, SaaS architecture. So what is happening here? Say like in the left hand side, whatever that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are mentioned, right? Those are something that the your agents, wherever you can see this icon. This is agent icon. Okay, this is agent. So wherever you are trying to get the data, and you are trying to send that data to your AppDynamics SaaS platform, okay, which is there in the cloud. SaaS model is nothing but it is there in the cloud. So all these are, you can see the arrow mark is actually unidirectional. Unidirectional. Okay, nothing is actually happening from your SaaS to the respective place. It is all happening from the respective places. Data is actually flowing into the AppDynamics SaaS platform. Okay, so one, two, in the right hand side, it is clearly mentioned what is one, two. Say like GUI user that you wanted to monitor, application REST API that you wanted to monitor, or database agents, or .NET, Java, Node.js, like that you wanted to monitor, machine agent, browser agent, end user monitoring that you want to monitor, like that. Individual things that are there. Okay, actually those are sending the data to your AppDynamics SaaS account. Inside that you can see the 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can see that end user monitoring, synthetic monitoring service is there, and then event services are there, and then end user monitoring, real user monitoring are there, and then controller services are there. Actually the main component is controller and event services only. Remaining two is something that you are doing a real user monitoring and synthetic monitoring. Okay, those are inside your AppDynamics SaaS platform. Okay, and it is a SaaS platform, right? So obviously if somebody is asking connectivity related information, you can get these connectivity information. Probably everything is happening in 443 only, but you need to, if you wanted to share this information with your firewall team, saying like, I'm going to use AppDynamics SaaS account, and make sure you need to allow that port communication. Okay, actually 443 will be usually by default enabled in all the organization, but in certain insurance and banking customers, they block that also. So we need to specifically mention these things to enable the port. Okay, then only the communication will be happening. Okay, so this is something that you are doing it in the SaaS model. uh, you are not going to do anything, you are only going to create the account. While creating the account, all these things are happening. Okay, similarly if you are going to your on-premises model. Okay, nothing much difference in the way your your architecture. Only thing is, in the right hand side, instead of having those in cloud, you are going to have it in the on premises, but the same thing only. Controller event services are there, and then the real user end user monitoring services server that are there. Okay, so remaining everything is actually the same thing. Here also, what I mentioned, like whenever you wanted to have a port connectivity here the port will be local ports, right? All these are local ports, so you can see 8090 8181 9080, like that. A specific port should be opened in order to establish a connection. From where to where you wanted to have a connection establishment, you can do the establishment here. The thing is that, like say like nowadays I would say this on-premises version is not that greatly recommended or greatly advertised by the App Dynamics team. Okay, they only give more focus for your SaaS model only, because they themselves thinks like they do not have a more of a potential business with this on-premises version, because everybody is moving towards AWS, Azure, Google Cloud Platform, Alibaba, like that. People are moving into the cloud version, right? So obviously your compatibility of these tools also should be within the cloud version. That's the reason the SaaS model is more utilized by the end users. So here what you are trying to do, either you are going to only use the service SaaS model, or you are going to use the entire software, everything will be handled by you, then you can use the on-premises model. Okay, usually how in the traditional ways, I'll tell you, in olden days what we usually do, we usually go and download this just. So you can give any mail ID. Mostly it will work with organization mail IDs only. Okay, if you're going to that download center, all these now actually saying in the last month only they changed this entire screen view. Earlier it was with a different view. Now if you wanted to have whichever the agents that you wanted to download, you can check that agents and then you can download it. Okay, that option is available. Okay, and then on the platform side also, the enterprise console, this is what I told you. Whichever the one enterprise console, if you download and install it, while installing itself, it will ask for certain prerequisite in the sense like what is your machine configuration, because there are instances like demo, small, medium, like that. The storage things are there in App Dynamics. Say like if you wanted to install a demo version of App Dynamics, means there are certain prerequisites. Small version, there are prerequisites, like that. The based on the version, the prerequisite is there. So once you are meeting that prerequisite, say like available RAM memory should be 4 GB, and then your disk size should be 80 GB. Okay, like that, there are prerequisites there. Once you are meeting that prerequisites, you can install that enterprise console. Right after the end, exactly at the end of your installation, one URL will be generated. That URL is nothing but your controller URL, which is nothing but whatever we are going to create it in the SaaS model. In SaaS model, when you are creating the SaaS account, one URL will be generated. That URL is also called as controller URL. But in SaaS model, it is directly provided by the vendor. But in the case of your on-premises version, you need to install that enterprise console. Exactly at the end of the enterprise console installation, a controller URL will be generated. That controller URL, every time you can launch that enterprise console. When you are maintaining locally, I'm saying, okay, you have to launch that enterprise console, start that instance. Every time you have to start that instance, controller instance, and then you can launch the URL. But in the case of SaaS model, you don't want to worry at all. Every time it will be up and running. You are going to only use the controller URL, provide the username and password, and then you can use it for your activity. Everybody is clear with this concept? Anybody have any question till now?
Yes. So, sir, as you show the previous like SaaS or on-premise environment, so what is a custom geo server in that?
See, when you wanted to simulate this behavior, synthetic traffic, right, from a different location, you need to have that, right? That is the purpose of it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, coming back, so this is about your architecture. Yeah. So this App Dynamics is having a 15 days trial version, 15 days trial version, which is actually called as Pro license. Okay, Pro, Pro. Okay, Pro license. Say like once you are creating your SaaS account and you can use it for 15 days of a trial period. And once you are done with the 15 days, you know what it will what will happen is that like it will become a light license. Pro license will become light license. So Pro license, what are all the things that will be there? No, there are 5 units of Java license, 5 units of .NET license, 5 units of Node.js, and then machine agent, and then your user experience agent, like that. There are predefined set of licenses would be there. Okay, in the Pro license. Once it is becoming light license, what will happen? That 555 units will become 111 unit. 1 unit of Java, 1 unit of .NET, 1 unit of Node.js, like that. All the 5 units will become 1 unit. That's the difference between your Pro license and the light license. Okay, so that's the benefit of using this App Dynamics tool also, because in at least in App Dynamics tool, after the free license exhausted, you know, you still can use it as a single application monitoring tool. But in Dynatrace, once it trial license gone, you need to have a different account created. But in App Dynamics, at least after the Pro license gone, you know, you can use it as a light license with single applications to be monitored. That is a benefit. Okay, so coming back to the course content. Yeah, so that is about your SaaS model and the on-premises model. So now we are going to have the first important concept in App Dynamics. Okay, so application agent configuration, which is a very important topic. Before to that, what will I do? So as I mentioned in my demo sessions also, I usually explain the students like how to have your local application, the sample application in your local machine, and then only we can learn things, right? So first of all, I'll explain the concept, the application configuration concept, and then we'll move on to the monitoring concept. So first of all, I need to set up my Apache Tomcat server, and then I need to install my application on top of the Apache Tomcat, and then we'll do the further steps. Okay, first step is download you can download Apache Tomcat server community edition. You can go type in like download Apache Tomcat commune. Once you are clicking that, you can go to the Apache website, Tomcat version 9, which is a stable version, and then based on your bit version, whether if you are having a 32-bit version or 64-bit version, you can download your Apache Tomcat. So you try to do this, or else no problem, don't worry. I will share the downloader. I will share the Apache Tomcat through Google Drive, so you guys can take it. You can use it. Okay, say like download it. So in my case, I already downloaded it. This is the downloaded version of the Apache Tomcat. You need to extract it. That zip file has to be extracted. So once you are extracting it, this is how it will be there. And then you can download JDK 1.8. Okay, Oracle JDK. Download Oracle JDK 1.8 and then install it. Okay, make sure you are once you are installing it, you can go to the command type like Java space -version. Okay, you need to get this. Most probably many will not get this because you did not set the environmental variable properly. Any question, anybody?
Sir, if we have more than 1.8 JDK version,
please downgrade it to 1.8. Okay, because most of the organizations are still having 1.8 only, which is a stable version. Okay, most of the application support, I'm saying. If you are trying to have an upgraded version, sometimes your most of your latest applications will not work. Compatibility issue will be there. So try to use 1.8. Okay. So you download and install this, and then say like if you are having a problem, means what you have to do, you have to go to the environmental variable. Under that you need to add this java underscore home, everything should be in uppercase, and then till the jdk folder. Similarly, below to that you can go to the path. There also you can go and then till the bin folder you add, till the bin folder. The above one till the jdk folder, the below one till the bin folder. So you set the java home and the path, java home and the path. Once you are setting that, you will definitely get this information properly. And then say like that is a next step. You need to set the java home and path. Next one is you need to go to the conf folder. In that there is a file called Tomcat users. Tomcat users. So if I scroll down, this line you have to add it. In the fresh version of the Tomcat, this line will not be there. This line you have to add it. Okay, this line you have to add it. Don't worry, this file also I will share it through Google Drive. Okay, so edit the Tomcat user file. Tomcat user file under conf folder. Okay. So once you are done with that, that's all. Straight away, what we can do, we can go to the bin folder, and anyways, whichever the way easy for you, you can do it. What I usually do, I will select this address bar. Fully, I will select the address bar, type cmd, and then enter. It will directly go to the bin folder. Or you can use cd, give the path of it, and then you can go. Whichever is easy for you, you can do it. Okay. So I went to the bin folder now. So for now, I need to run startup.bat. There is a file, startup.bat file. So if I enter it, it has to start the server. It has to start the server. If you are not properly configuring your JDK, if you are not properly configuring your Java home and the path, here it will not start smoothly. It will throw error. Okay, it will throw error because Java is mandatory in order to start the server. So if you are not having a proper configuration, then it will throw error. So the server is started now. It is saying startup server in 33,000 milliseconds. So server started now. So I need to cross check. How to cross check? I need to type like localhost colon 8080 in the browser. It has to show this page. It has to show this page. Okay, now you guys can ask me like, how did you come to know it is 8080? Okay, so you guys can go here under the conf folder. There is a file name called server.xml file. If you open that, inside that HTTP port, you have to go and validate. The HTTP port is actually 8080. You can see this 8080. Okay, so you guys can change the port also. You can change it to any number, 4444, 4344, like that. Whichever the port that you wanted to change it, you can change here. You can change here. Save this file. Okay, and then restart the server, and then you can launch it in that port. Okay, it is not mandatory that you need to use always 8080. If you wish, you can change the port as well. Okay, you can change the port as well, whichever in my case I did not change the port, but if you wish, we can change the port as well. So I launched this screen. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use manager app. One pop-up is coming. In that I'm typing Tomcat, and Tomcat, click enter. Why I'm typing Tomcat and Tomcat? I told you in the Tomcat user file, I created one user. Under the conf folder, there is a file name called Tomcat user file. Inside that, I added a user file. That username password is also Tomcat. So I gave the username and password as Tomcat. This screen should come. Okay. If I go here, there is a option called war file to deploy. So what I can do, I can choose a file. I can select a war file. Okay. Don't worry, guys. I'll share that war file also through the Google Drive. So what you can do, you can download it. You need to choose the war file and then click deploy. Once you are clicking the deploy button, it will successfully deploy that application here. You can see the JPEG store is here. It will successfully deploy the application. So you can click here so that the application is actually launched. The application is successfully launched. Okay. So going forward, you do not require to follow all the procedure because you are not going to deploy the application every time. Going forward, you only start the server using startup.bat file, and you can shut down the file using shutdown.bat file. There is a file is there. There is one more file is there. Startup.bat file, shutdown.bat file. Startup.bat file you can give it, and then straight away use this URL localhost colon 8080/jpeg store. The application will be working. So till now, whatever we saw is that like we saw a sample application, how we can have it in our local machine. Sample application, how we can have it in our local machine. Okay, everybody clear with this concept? Anybody have any question in this?
Sir,
Yeah, Saurabh?
did you set any user credentials for Tomcat, or by default it will be Tomcat Tomcat?
No, I showed you, right? Under conf folder, there is a file name called Tomcat user. I edited, I added one line. I told you, right? This line here you can see Tomcat and Tomcat only we added username and password.
By okay, so we have to add this line on the Tomcat conf file, and
Yeah,
we have to set it, and then okay.
correct, sir. Yeah, correct.
Actually, my screen was in Zoom, so I couldn't see that.
Oh, okay. So this is how you need to add. First, you need to add user, and then during the configuration, you will use this details, and then you do the configuration, and then you can run your application. Clear? Everybody clear with this concept?
So
Yeah. So similarly, so application is ready now, guys. Okay, because whatever the learning that we wanted to have it, my first request is you should have a sample application. Then only you can learn very thoroughly. Okay. So similar way, I will show you one more application also. Maybe probably we'll complete this Java configuration, and then probably we'll go to the Node.js application configuration. The one that we did, right? This JPEG store application war file I told you, right? Deploy it on top of the Tomcat. That JPEG store application is a Java application. So it is a Java. So we are trying to do a Java application monitoring using App Dynamics. Okay. So in App Dynamics, individual agents are there. Okay, it may be Tomcat server or WebLogic, WebSphere, like that. Different servers are there, right? Based on that, the different agents are there. Based on that, you need to configure it and then get the data. Okay. So probably, yeah, I can. So you can say like try App Dynamics. You can fill in all these mandatory fields. So you can fill in all the fields and then you can click getting started. So what it will do with the information that you populated, if it is valid, usually it will not accept the Gmail IDs and all. Okay, don't try to do that. You can have your organization mail ID or different other mail IDs can be configured to get this done. Okay, SAS account is ready now. So straight away you can launch it. You can see 15 days left in the pro trial. In the right hand side, you can see that. So if you are checking this getting started wizard, these are the monitoring capabilities that are available with AppDynamics. In that only I told you we are going to see different combination of lesson. Okay, so probably if you are trying to do a Java monitoring means we need to have certain understanding about our prerequisites, say like AppDynamics account running in so and so version, and then access to the machine where the application run. It is true. Verify you have a user account with privilege to install agents. Yeah, you should be kind of admin role. And then machine where your application run can access the controller. Controller is this one. This URL only I told you. The controller URL I told you, right? During the on-premises version of installation, this is the controller URL will be generated. Okay. So there are prerequisites that are there. So what we will do in our next session, I will show you like how our current application that are that we configured right now, right? This is a Java-based application. In that application, how our AppDynamics agent that we are going to configure. Once the agent is actually configured, how the data is actually populating back to controller, and how we are going to do the bottleneck identification. All those things we will see in the next session. Okay, guys. Any question in this case till now, whatever we discussed?
Sir, suppose if we have already used our email ID, organization email ID, and we have like it might have used our 15 days trial, then what is the other possibility?
So actually, it is not checking that kind of a combination, and you add 1 or 2 numbers in front of your mail ID and try it.
Okay.
Okay. So with this, probably we'll wrap up for today's session. Those who are interested to proceed with this course journey, you can reach out to Kumar sir. This is Kumar sir number 8019924227. 8019924227. You can reach out to Kumar sir, and remaining sessions will be now. You could have seen like this is the day 1 session. So like this, we'll move further with our course journey learning. Okay, thanks all for giving this opportunity. Bye bye.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.